I'm here to welcome Mr. Herrera to Santa Maria. It's not often, I think that, it's not often enough that we get somebody of his caliber coming in to show us how humorous life can be. So we really appreciate that. And so how do I do that? They didn't give me any instructions. So I'd like everyone to say, welcome Mr. Herrera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So with that, I'll step down and try not to fall and give the mic over. Thank you very much.
We have a hand for you. Thank you, Mr. Cordero. We had a lot of help from the mayor, from Mr. Cordero, from Gloria Soto, who's also on the city council, to get this done. I'm Kevin Walters. I'm the president of Allan Hancock College, and I'm honored to be a part of this event. And I want to do a little shout out for some of the folks that made this possible. Primarily from Allan Hancock College, Dr. Kate Adams, who teaches English at our program. We also have some groups out here in the foyer doing some tabling that have been instrumental in getting the word out, and many of your organizations. And we're honored that Mr. Herrera has agreed to come. And you know, one of the things that we talk a lot about at Hancock College is changing the odds for our students. And we spend a lot of time sometimes talking about students and people that overcome the odds in our society. We don't spend enough time talking about how we change the odds for people. And that's not an original thought of mine. That's from Manuel Pastor from USC. But we've stolen it, and he told us that we can use it as much as we want. So I got a chance to meet him. And when we talk about changing the odds, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about having the former poet laureate of the United States come and talk to us here in Santa Maria, California, because it's not every day that we have somebody who's that thoughtful and that talented who can come and talk to us. So we're honored to be part of this event. We're thankful for the high school and for the high school district for allowing us to use the Ethel Pope auditorium, and we're super grateful that you guys all came out. I think it's going to be a great evening of poetry and reading and stories. I've had the good fortune to spend a little bit of time with Mr. Herrera today, watching him work with students and just having a general conversation. It's been delightful. With that, I want to introduce somebody that I think all of you know, our board president, Hilda Zacharias, and she's going to come and do the official welcome for Mr. Herrera. So.
And for those of you who haven't been to Hancock College lately, it is an amazing, vibrant, welcoming place. So please make sure you go. We have Friday Night Science coming up. We have students coming. We've had thousands of fifth graders coming and walking the halls. And when I think about that, many people just 20 years ago hadn't even stepped onto Allan Hancock College, I know that change is happening. And it's happening because of a lot of things that people in this room have done. I love being in this room. I love that this is the room we welcome you to. It feels like my casita, except bigger. And but my alma mater, Santa Maria High School, of course, Allan Hancock College, where I'm honored to serve as the president of the school board. But nothing warms my heart more than listening to the love that individuals and care that those individuals put into the words and in the written word, because it stays with us. So we'll remember this evening, we'll remember how we felt about what we heard, but we also get to take a memory that we can share forever. And so I, of course, tried to buy you out, but was only successful in getting this one that I understand you'll sign for me later. And as I was reading through, I said, I know I'll find something that is just perfect for this moment. And this moment happens to be April the 12th, which for most CPAs, we actually don't even leave our desks, but you were more than worth it. And I opened this up, and it says to me, you must absolutely rush to the next short chapter. And I said, yes, yes. So thank you for giving me this short chapter that now I can go and share with my family and read my granddaughters these books and say, and guess what? Your abuelita got to see him and hug him. Please help me welcome this amazing man.
Maybe we can read that book together. Sí, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, everybody. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I want to take out unos libritos, some books. I've been having a great time being here, seeing the students, working with the students, los estudiantes, and coming to Santa Maria. I came by Santa Maria many years ago, but I was on the way to Guadalupe, I think with a teatro, or following a Teatro Esperanza. And now it's my turn to come directly to Santa Maria. And I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Kevin Walters, our president, and Kate Adams, who's been really kind and picking me up, waiting for me, because I get all lost in little tiny things in the hotel room. I can't find myself, basically. And then Kate was still there, waiting for me. And Eva Zacarias, who we just heard. And of course, La Familia, Ray Segura and Margarita Olimpio, who helped me put this together with the agent and here on the ground. Muchas gracias, Ray and Margarita. And my stepdaughter, Marlene, who drove us all the way up here and is thinking about not driving us back. And you know, great organizations you have here. I met up with Abraham Melendres from CAUSE, La Causa Campesina Inmigrantes, and he's doing great work. The group is doing great work, and I noticed that that's very important work, immigrant rights. Don't you think so? Yeah. Very important work. That's right. It's so good. It feels so good. You know, remember back in the late 60s when Cesar Chavez, Lourdes Huerta were going strong, and the farmer club movement was taking off with the rose workers in Central California, and now it's 2019. So it's very inspiring to see that the farm workers' causa and immigration rights, of course, are still being defended and organized for with our groups here in Santa Maria. So big hand for Santa Maria, by the way. And also met up with the LGBTQ group, their table, and I'm so glad that they're also talking about rights and promoting la causa de respeto, respect and inclusion and parity. And let's give the LGBTQ plus a big hand también. Doesn't Santa Maria sound great? You're doing all these beautiful things. So let's give Santa Maria one more time a big hand. And guess what? I've been working with the estudiantes here, the students, and they did like 20 books in less than 2 hours. They cooked up 20 libros. We made some books. We put some words on the board, words de la casa, words from our experience, words that don't get included in the media, palabras, lenguaje, idioma, what we say and how we say it on the board, in all colors and shapes, big old mural on the wall, and also use paper to create the first book draft. So let's give our estudiantes a big hand too. There were words up there like chancla on the board. You know, we don't use the word chancla, we gotta use that word. And it's good for stories, believe it or not, it's good for poetry. And also words from home and words of the experience of la familia, las familias, the families from Santa Maria. Great students, great inspiration, great minds in motion. Que suave, I'm so happy. So a lot of thanks, you know, a lot of thanks to all of you. And thanks to my wife, Margarita Robles, who's been with me throughout all these years on the readings and the performances. And all the mujeres here, a big hand for las mujeres here, by the way. Thank you, todos. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for inviting me. We have a number of books here. Margarita says that I should start with this poem. So I'll go ahead and do that. The poem is called It Can Begin with Clouds. And she likes this poem. It can begin with clouds, how they fray, how they enter, then how they envelop the earth. In a second or two, they vanish. You touch them, they take you. You find yourself in their absence. Sometimes you read them, somehow. The separation, the losses, the sky, yes. It is the sky they were talking about. The character for sky. You are there now. You have always been there now, where there is fire and thunderface behind the torn universe. You can see this, how it shreds itself so you can see this. That is all there is. Then nothing again. Then you again. And the clouds come to you. And you pass. So she likes that poem. I'm reading it for you. And these poems are in that manner also. And there are kind of different flavors. So, here's a photo of my grandmother, by the way, Juanita. And I decided that in our books, it's a good thing to put our familias photographs. I decided that it's time we present our familias publicly. We have our images at home, that is good. They don't have to come out publicly. But being from Santa Maria and being so organized out here and having so much inspiration and students out here, let's bring our familias out. Let's bring their images out. Let's bring their stories out. And I know you're doing this, and let's do more of it. And so I enjoy this because then we are seen even more. We present ourselves even more. And by the way, I was doing a little study about the reasons why Mexicanos can't cross the border. And there's even more reasons today, isn't there? There's more reasons today. Why is it that every day there's another reason why we can't cross the border? So anyway, here's my study. It's right here. And it's a very deep study I made. It's right here. It's heavy duty. Be careful. It's called, let's do it together. It's called 187 Reasons Mexicanos Can't Cross the Border. So that's the name of the study, okay? And you're going to say because, but I'll use this, because, and then I'll say the reason. What do you think? You want to give it a go? Yeah. You want to give it a go? Okay. And if it starts getting too strong, hold on to the chair a little bit, and be careful. You don't slap somebody if you move your mouth. Okay, here we go. Let's go again. 187 reasons Mexicanos. Our suitcases are made of biodegradable maguey fibers. We still resemble a Malinche. Multiplication is our favorite sport. We're going to dig a tunnel all the way to Seattle. Because Mexico still needs us to keep the peso from sinking. The Berlin Wall is on the way through Veracruz. I think they already made it. We just learned where we chose. Someone made our IDs out of corn. The border's thirst is insatiable. We're on peyote and Coca-Cola and Banamex. It's Indian land stolen from our grandmothers. It's Indian land stolen from our mothers. Because we're too emotional when it comes to our mothers. Because it's too easy to say, well, I'm from here. Latin American petrochemical juice flows first. What will we do in the norte anyway? Nahuatl and Mayan and Chicano is going to spread to Canada. Cedillo and Salinas and folks are still on vacation. The World Bank needs our abuelitas account. The World Bank needs our abuelitas account. The CIA trains better with brown targets. Our accent is unable to hide U.S. colonialism. Our voice resembles La Llorona. Because we can read about it in an ethnic prison. U.S. and European corporations would rather visit us first. Because of a new form of overnight Mayan anarchy. Because Nabisco, Exxon, and Union Carbide gave us mal de ojo. Because environmental U.S. industrial pollution suits our color. Because it's better to be rootless, unconscious, and rapeable. Because Pancho Villa's hidden treasure in Chihuahua. Because of Bogart's hidden treasure in La Sierra Madre. Because we're destined to have the go back to Mexico blues. We couldn't clean up Hurricane Katrina. We're really dark French Creoles in a Cantinflas costume. Because we smell of tamales soaked in tequila. Because our passport says we're out of date. Our passport says we're out of date. Can you imagine that? Isn't that terrible? We're still running from La Migra. We're still running from La Migra. Because they told us to meditate and chant, nosotros los pobres, nosotros los pobres. Because our identity got mixed up with passion. Because we have visions instead of televisions. Because a spy in Spanish sounds too much like espy in English. Because our comadres are an international political party. Because we believe in the big chingazo theory of the universe. Because every Mexican is a living theater of rebellion. The Alamo is really pronounced a la madre. What happened out there? We can have Nicaragua, Honduras, and Panama anyway. 150 million Mexicans can be wrong. Because you can't make mace out of beans. We're still dressed in black rebosos. Our land grants are up for grabs. Our tattoos are indecipherable. We eat too many carbohydrates. A simple Spanish fly can mutate into a raging bird flu. A quinceañera is going to ruin the American concept of virginity. The president has a Mexican maid. The vice president has a Mexican maid. Banda music is going to take over the White House. Calibre 50. Every business is going to whack us anyhow. Because of tercer elemento. The word mariachi really comes from the word cucarachi. Because juzga, rayada, and rodeo are juzgado, reata, y rodeo. The term Mexican comes from Mexicanto. VFW halls are built to serve because VFW halls aren't built to serve cabeza con tripas. Let's read three more. Just a couple more. 187 will zero tamales in order to survive. We're the continental majority. Because 2,000 miles of maquiladoras want to promote us. We're going to take over the organic foods business with a molcajete. We know how to pronounce all the Japanese corporations. The death squads are having a hard time with calor. Tú sabes, carnal, te voy a la corna. Chrysler. I just got this information. Is putting out a lowrider. We should have learned from the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We should have listened to the federal immigration laws of 1917, 1921, 1924, 1930. Because Executive Order 9066 of 1942 should have had us too. Operation Wetback took care of us in the 50s. Operation Clean Sweep picked us up the loose ends in the 70s. One more operation is going to finish us anyway. You can't deport 12 million migrantes in a Greyhound bus. You got this thing about walking out of everything. We got this thing about walking out of everything. We have a heart that sings and sings, rancheras and feet that polka. This one is called Almost Living, Almost Dying. And you know, we had so many killings and young people dying and being shot, and the difficulties in our barrios and communities, and the issue about police brutality as well. So I said, how am I going to work on this? I don't want to pit one group against the other. I want to include both groups. Comes a point where we have to think about that and stand at the center with all groups and do the best we can and open our minds and hearts and perhaps work together and organize together. Almost living, almost dying. And here my streets with ragged beats, and the beats are too beat to live, so the graves push out with hands that cannot touch the makers of light, and the sun flames down through the roofs and the roots that slide to one side, and the whistling fires of the cops in the shops do what they gotta do. And your body's on the fence and your ID's in the air, and the shots get fired, and the gas in the face, and the tanks on your blood, and the innocents all around, and the spilling, and the grilling, and the grinning, and the game of race no one wanted. And the same every day, so you fire, and eat the smoke through your long bones, and the short maze in the day, this last sweet swisher day that turns to love, and no one knows how it came, or what it is, or what it says, or what it was, or what for, from what gate. Is it open? Is it locked? Can you pull it back to your life, filled with bitter juice and demon angel eyes, even though you pray? And pray, Mama says, you gotta sing, she says, you got wings, but from what skies? From where could they rise? What are the things, the no things called love? How can its power be fixed or grasped so the beats keep on blowing, keep on flying, and the moon tracks your bed where you're alone or maybe dead, and the truth carves you, and calls you back, still alive? Cry, cry the candles by the last 4 trees still soaked, and Michael Brown read, and Officer Lou read, and Officer Ramos read, and Eric Garner, whose last words were not words, they were just breath, asking for breath. They were just burning like me, like we are still burning. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Swagging tall and driving low and talking fine and hollering from my corner crying and frying against the wall. Almost living, almost dying, almost living, almost dying. Muchas gracias. You know, the poems come fast. You know, they come fast at you, and you're either going to write it or you're going to just feel that wind go through you and keep on going. But it's good to stay in there and express yourself when you have that big rush of causa, that big rush of the cause, of helping others, of talking about what's going on. And you have it. You have that feeling that very split second. And it's there for just a little second. And if you take it, then you can be yourself again. You can be more of yourself, perhaps with words, a song, a dance, or just that new realization. What was I going to do with this book? Get back to it. This is what I do, you know, I make it big so I can really see it and see the words. and get all caught up like I'm getting caught up right now. A chilaquiles style. It's a chilaquiles form of putting your reading together. Let's do this one. It's similar. It's called Poem by Poem. You're going to remember this. You're going to recognize this. It's about Charleston, South Carolina. I hope to go there next week. In memory of Cynthia Hurd, Susie Jackson, Ethel Lance, Reverend D. Payne Middleton Doctor, Honorable Reverend Clementa Pinckney, Tywanza Sanders, Reverend Daniel Simmons Sr., Reverend Sharonda Singleton, Myra Thompson, shot and killed at church, Charleston, South Carolina, June 2015. It's called Poem by Poem. And I was in Rockford, Illinois, I think. And there was a group of singers, gospel singers. And I said, can we do this together? Y cantaron gospel, you know, soulful gospel. And I said, you guys just do your song, and in between the song, voy a leer el poema, I'll read the poem. I said, sure. Poem by poem. Poem by poem, we can end the violence. Every day, after every other day. 9 killed in Charleston, South Carolina. They are not 9, they are each one alive. We do not know. You have a poem to offer. It is made of action. Run outside and give your life to it. When you find it, walk it back, blow upon it, carry it taller than the city where you live. When the blood comes down, do not ask if it is your blood. It is made of 9 drops. Honor them, wash them, stop them from falling. Let's do those lines together, okay? You ready? Honor them.
Honor them.
Wash them.
Wash them.
Stop them
Stop them
from falling.
from falling.
Big hand to you. Una mano para ustedes. And that's why it's good to honor our peoples here in Santa Maria. Honor our students, honor our campesinos, honor our teachers, our workers, our families, and honor those that are surviving through this whole detention, ICE, immigration, grab you, put you in a van and take you away experience. We know this experience for all our lives. Right? We know this all our lives, since we were children. So it's good to stop this and create a whole community, which we're doing here today. So that's this poem, you know. I've become very interested in doing these poems, responding to what's taking place. What's going to happen if we don't respond? ¿Qué va a pasar si no los expresamos? That's why students are so precious. The new generation is so precious. Let's move back. You want to move back to 187 Reasons? ¿Quieren cambiar? Okay. I have a poem in here that I wrote, que escribí. I want to give you a choice. A ver qué piensan. Lotería time, okay? You want to do Mexican differences, Mexican similarities, Mexican differences, Mexican similarities? Or do you want to do how to make world unity salsa? Which one? Salsa. Want to do salsa? You sure? Yeah. This is going to get deep now. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this together. Everybody ready? Okay. Beautiful voices. You ready? Listos, listas? Good. Here we go. How to make world unity salsa. What is unity? It's not worldwide. Here we go. Mash the pulp. Mash the pulp. Mash the pulp. Add a burnt tomato. And a rock of garlic. Add a burnt tomato. And a rock of garlic. A little louder. Mash the pulp. in the black stone bowl. Put your hand into it. Put your hand into it. Put your shoulders into it. Mash the pulp in the black stone bowl. Mash the pulp in the black stone bowl. Put your hips into it. Put your hips into it. Char another chile. Char another chile. That's right. Mash the pulp in the molcajete. Mash the pulp in the molcajete. Just a pinch of salt. Just a pinch of salt. Pour the soup from the tomato heart. Pour the soup from the tomato heart. Now throw your head back twice. Throw your head back twice. Mash the pulp in the molcajete. Mash the pulp in the molcajete. Yellow chile. Green chile, red chile, chile de árbol, chile japonés, chile guaje, chiltepín, piquín, black chile, brown chile, yellow chile, wrinkled. Now throw your head back twice. Throw your head back twice. Breathe, baby. Breathe, baby. Breathe, baby. Your fingers on the rock. Your fingers on the rock. Your palm on the stone. Your eyes on the inside. Your bones on the soul. Your bones on the soul. Your bones on the soul. Big hand for you. You know, there's a lot to using a molcajete, right? There's a lot to that molcajete. Let's also honor those young people who've been shot. In this case, in Parkland, Florida. I was in Florida around that time. I've been going to Florida a lot. So let's honor them. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. February 14, 2018. We're going to honor them. We honor them with our voices. We honor them with our writing, just a few words. Don't have to write a book. No tienen que escribir un librazo. Podemos escribir un poemita corto para honrar a nuestros prójimos. All we got to do is just write a little bit to honor our brothers and sisters who've been killed, and then their families who are hurting. And on this one, all we're going to do is read their names and their ages. What is not expressed fades away. What is not written can fade away. And maybe not in our hearts, but in the larger arena. And we're here at this school to project our voices so we can be heard. So our families in Santa Maria can be known and heard, and we can assist them, and assist all of us. Here it is. Alicia Al-Hadeth, 14. Yor. Scott Bagel, 35. Absence. Martin Duque Anguiano, 14. Is. Nicolas Dovere, 17. Still. Aaron Feist, 37. Present. Jamie Gutenberg, 14. Present. Chris Hickson, 45. Your. Luke Hoyer, 15. Presence. Kara Longraham, presence. Gina Montalto, yes. Joaquin Oliver, 17. Your presence. Elena Petty, 14. Yes. Meadow Pollock, 18. Your. Helena Ramsey, 17. Absence, your presence. Alex Schachter, 14. Is. Carmen Schentrup, 16. Still. Peter Wang, 15, present. Send good thoughts and honor to their families. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. We think of them. We honor our students. Let us do that. One of the students asked me recently, make sure I have all the pages for you. He said, this was at Paso Robles High School just the other day. And I thank Shelina Rojas for it, and Ray and Mage for making it happen. And the student said, I'm glad you do bilingual poetry, but why don't you learn more languages and add more words? It would be a much interesting poem. You know, do you know more languages? Can you throw more words in your poem? I go, híjola, okay. Okay. And you know, all we need is one word sometimes. Just one word. Like we put familia. We said familia. We said, thank you, familia, for example, right? We do a presentation, or we go somewhere and say, oh, thank you, familia. It's been, I really enjoyed being here with you. Thank you, familia. You will make contact with so many more people. So I was at a refugee center in Manchester, New Hampshire. And we had refugees from all over the world and from Africa. And one said, thank you, in Swahili. Everyone say Swahili. Swahili. And he said, asante, to say thank you. Muchas gracias for coming to our refugee center. And asante. Oh, I said asante. Everybody say asante. Asante. There it is. You got it. Thank you. So then, here is the piece. And when I say asante, you all say asante too. Ready? The day begins. Asante. Asante. The light paints my face and I move. Asante. This is who I am. Asante. I am made of hope. Asante. In a circle Asante. On the earth with my familia, I clap and dance and sing. We gather round our sharing bowl, we eat and laugh. We tell story, the story of our beginnings. We carry the moon on our shoulders. Our dreams ride the lion and it roars. Work, my body knows all day. I raise my arms up. I bend my legs long. I run and fly, turn around, haul a sack. Here I come, back to my house, offer a basket of fruit. Children and flowers, women and men, stand tall, happiness together. Moon, sky, stars, and fire. We sit and talk, then silence. Grandmother says, the fire is speaking. Listen, do not forget this day. It was given to you. And that's this one. You did really good on this one. It's written in big purple letters. Sometimes, because of so many difficult things are taking place, muchas cosas con mucho dolor están pasando en nuestras comunidades, en nuestra sociedad, and the world. So many difficult things, painful things. We see them every day. We read about them every day. So then we start to write about them, and it's painful. And it requires a lot of energy, and we think about it all day. Pensamos todo el día de lo que está pasando a nuestros hermanos y hermanas inmigrantes, migrantes en la frontera. We think about it every day. It's on the news every day. So we suffer. And our hermanos and hermanas, brothers and sisters, attempting to cross that border because they have a right to do, are suffering. And we think about that, and we suffer. But what can we do to alleviate our suffering? We got to pour our joy into the suffering. We've got to pour our joy into the suffering. We've got to pour our joy into the suffering. And joy is here tonight. Joy is here tonight. Are we here together? Are we here together? Is that joy? Are we calling out with our voices? Is that joy? We have our children with us? Is that joy? We're still organizing? Is that joy? Pour that joy. Let's pour that joy into those conflicts that we feel every day. Sometimes they take us down, and it is like that. And sometimes we have to appreciate what we have that's positive. So let's pour our joy into our suffering. What do you think? And what's going to happen to our suffering when we pour joy into it?
It's going to make it happy.
It's going to make you happy. It's going to make you happy, and we're going to face reality. We're going to face reality. There's joy in reality, there's suffering in reality, and there's joy in reality. Otherwise, we're going to stay in one part of reality and ignore the other part. Or we're going to stay in one part and live in a fantasy and ignore the real harsh reality. So let's put them together. What do you think? That's where writing comes in. That's where your songs and voices come in. Ahí entra el corazón para curar al corazón. Sus canciones, sus poesías, sus palabras, with your words, poetry, and songs. Do you think there's any more in here? Let's look. Let's look a little bit. You know, this book was published in Spain, imagine? So here's a Spanish version. I put on my cool hat for this one. And let's read this one in, oh yeah. Okay. I was thinking about writing a poem for children. You know, a fun poem. So hopefully I can find it in here. I know I just found it there. So I said, everyone say, Juan Felipe, can you come up with a fun title? At least one fun word. So I thought of jackrabbits. So if I have jackrabbits, tengo conejos locos in the title, that's going to be a little different. And they say, Juan Felipe, can you come up with another word for your title? Then I thought of green onions. Cebollas verdes. If I can have cebollas verdes in the poem title, it's going to be interesting. And he said, Juan Felipe, come on, just how about one more? Ándale. Dale gas. Pero cuidado. So this poem is called Jackrabbits, Green Onions, and Witches Stew. I forgot to tell you witches stew. I said, it has to have witches, brujas stew in there, right? You got to have the brujitas in here. Because we all know about brujitas. That's why nobody talks about them. Because you better not talk about them. So, ladies and gentlemen, presenting Jackrabbits, Green Onions, and Witches Stew. We're going to do this together. Ready? We're going to do this together. Be careful. We're going to do this together. And then we're going to do it in Español. Okay? We're going to do it in Español. Everybody say Español. That's what we're going to do. Jackrabbits, Green Onions, and Witches Stew. $3. And upside down lemons and you. Dinky Planet. On a skateboard of dynamite. Oh, what to do? Chili peppers. Mrs. Oops. Dr. What? Mr. Space Station Unscrewed. The Red Book of Ants says, you better run. No, sirree. Laughing out loud. LOL. Blowing my bubblegum son. Another hand for you guys. Or do you want me to read another heavy-duty poem? I can read another heavy-duty poem. Did you enjoy that? Or you need a little bit more chilaquil involved? Some more chilaquil involved? Let's do a poem with more sound. You know, after a while you want to write in Spanish. Right? After a while you want to write, okay, Quietly, the moon came through the hill, and its illuminations cast rainbow shadow on my estufa. That's good. But let's get into some sound work, okay? Let's get into some sound work. Here we go. It's coming through. This is called the shuffling part. This is the shuffling part. It's coming, gente. It's coming. I'm dying up here. Mira, I didn't want to show, isn't that not nice? It's called, I'll find it for you. I wrote this poem because I wanted to switch into Spanish, and I wanted to get the sounds out. El sonido musical del español. I wanted to get the sounds out that we don't get in English. In English, get sounds that are not in Spanish. And that is why it's good to be bilingual, because you have a bigger orchestra, more instruments. We have the bongo, la guitarra, y la maraca. I would say, el bongo, y la guitarra, y la maraca, fueron al mercado, hicieron mucho ruido, se enamoraron, y dijeron, pa, chica, pa, chica, pa. Okay, here's the English part. Here's the English translation. Then I'll read the Espanol with a lot of sounds. Same poem. We're going to do the English one. I'll go ahead, I'll do the English one and we'll do the one in Spanish. In the mid of midnight. Yeah, let's do it. In the mid of midnight, rumba and chocolate. In the mid of midnight, and the turnipy night, under the earth, has gone blind. Embrace me on the table of the prayer woman and the anthill dish. Let us go to Carrara to sing to the count of sulfurs and ciphers and reefs, but nothing raining by the killing wall, by the killing wall. And carriages of the skeleton carrier, raining light rain. Like this, I walk. We're going to get into it in Spanish. We're going to get into it in Spanish. I figured if we have a midnight, there must be a mid of the midnight. ¿Verdad? If we have a midnight, there's a medianoche, there's probably a media in the media of the medianoche. I took algebra. Okay, we're going to do it in Spanish. Here we go. Here we go, Santa Maria. En la medianoche. Rumba y chocolate. En la medianoche. Y la noche rabanera. Bajo la tierra. Que está ciega. Abrázame. En la mesa rezandera y el platillo de hormiguera. Vamos a Carrara a cantarle al conde de azufres y cifras y arrecifes, azufres y cifras y arrecifes, pero nada lloviznando por el paredón y carruajes de hueseras lloviznando, así ando. You know how you know, when you express yourself, you can be direct like we are when we go to work. Oh, it's 3 o'clock. I think I'm going to take a little break. I need a 20-minute break. I'll be right back to finish my quarterly report. You know, we can speak directly like we do at work. And we can speak like our friends. Mira, ¿Qué pasó? Mira, te lo llevaste, pero es mío, you took it from me, hey. You know, we can do that too. Drop a book. And we can also be dramatic. As a matter of fact, we're very dramatic. Human beings are the most dramatic species. You don't see a dog going, hey, watch out. You don't see dogs doing that. Get out of my way, man. Te voy a morder la pierna ahorita. Bite your whole leg off right now. So it's good to use our dramatic voices. So many voices we have. Let's go forward and read Song Out Here. I was listening to some indie music, really groovy indie music. You know, adolescent, cool, groovy indie music. Yeah. And I said, if I could only write like that, called Song Out Here. If I could sing, I'd say everything. You know, from here on the street. Can you turn around? Just for once I am here, right behind you. What is that flag? What is it made out of? Maybe it's too late. I have too many questions. Where did it all come from? What colors is it? All made of. Everything here. In the subways, there's so many things and voices. We're going somewhere, but I just don't know. Somewhere, but I just don't know. Somewhere. Do you know where that is? I want to sing so you can hear me. And maybe you can tell me where to go so you can hear me. And just maybe you can tell me where to go. All those hands and legs and faces going places. If I could sing, you would hear me. And I would tell you, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Can you turn around so I can look into your eyes just for once? Your eyes, maybe like hers. Can you see her and his? Can you see them? I want you to see them. All of us could be together. If I could sing, we would go there. We would run there together. We would live there for a while in that tilted, tiny house by the ocean, rising up inside of us. I'm on the curb next to a curled up cat, smoking. I know it's bad for you, but you know how it is. Just for once, can you turn around? A straight line falling behind you. It's me. I want to sing. Invincible. Bleeding out with love. Just for you. Shall we do one more? Una más? Más? And then questions maybe? That's it? Can you tell me when to start? Ooh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I was thinking of coding and data. You know, we tell stories. You and I tell stories. You and I have conversations. Nosotros hablamos de nuestra vida, intercambiamos cuentos como nos sentimos. That's what we do. But data doesn't do that. Surveillance doesn't do that. Surveillance picks up codes, números, letters, patterns of letters, and then aims at the target. That's data. So I was thinking about that. So this is how this poem works. It's called, But I Was the One That Saw It. The Drone Aftermath. Elemeno, MNWN 00001. ECSNLNT SP 000 SP 000000000000000 #14928:01. I didn't know why I was dying. from out of nowhere, you know. It happened like that. I saw it all come down. I just kind of kept on talking and talking. Then I wasn't talking, but I was just still standing there with my boots in a ditch. Hashtag 9302888_9. I had this irrational detachment from everything that was going on. La gente la estaban matando. Los mesos estaban llegando. We were calling others. Estábamos llamando, but they couldn't hear us or something. We were back there. Hashtag 1265. There were some people protesting. Estaban manifestando. They were making a ruckus. Estaban haciendo ruido. I think they had some kind of agenda. Sí, tenían una onda. I wanted us to join them. Querían que nos metiéramos con ellos, but we were just trying to figure out what was going on. And 0, hashtag 17. That's it. I was holding a baby. Estaba yo con un niñito. We wanted to get married. Nos queríamos casar. I was pointing at it. I saw it. Yo lo vi. Everyone else was down. Some were standing. But I was the one that saw it. Yo fui el que lo vio. Yo fui la que lo vio. Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you so much. I read your selection, les leí una selección. Did you enjoy the selection? ¿Les gustó la selección? A veces hay unos poemas que les gustan más que otros. Preguntitas. Time for the preguntas y una lotería. Any kind of question? Yes.
What's the shortest poem you ever wrote?
Free, whole, is. Free, right? F-R-E-E. Whole, H-W-O-L-E. And then, thank you, I-S. And it also is frijoles. That's why it's good to be bilingual. Jose Montoya, one of our great poets, Chicanos, passed away some years ago. His poem was called Arroz es Arroz. That's it, se acabó. Arroz es arroz. And the version in English is a rose by Gertrude Stein. Yeah? Gertrude Stein. A rose is a rose, Gertrude Stein. And Montoya said, wait a minute, arroz is arroz. And Francisco Alarcón, one of our other great poetas, gay poeta nuestros who passed away also, said, a beso is not a kiss. A beso is not a kiss. It's all right, Francisco. So short pieces are a lot of fun and they're deep. They're also deep. That's what's nice about the smaller the poem, the bigger, the deeper it can be. Muchas palabras, like me, you lose some depth. At the same time, short poems, pocas palabras say a lot, as we know from our experience. Otra pregunta, that was a cool question. Otra pregunta, please. Yes.
So your life work has touched a lot of life and bring a lot of joy. I'm curious about what was the trigger in your youth? Was there something that you read or heard that took you in this path?
Yes. As a child, I grew up with my mother's stories, and the stories of being a migrante and a woman. So I learned all the stories of all the women in my family. And they were heavy stories. I don't think I was ready for those stories. Cómo cruzamos de México, cómo vivía mi mamá en los barrios de la capital, the hard life she had in Segundo Barrio en El Paso. And she told me these stories all the time. And the story of my grandmother, how harsh and, very stern grandmother. No, Juanito, mira, me encantaba la escuela, pero un día pues, fui con mi amiga y estaba robando dulces en la tienda y me agarró mi mamá. I was going out stealing candy with my friends from school in El Paso, and my mom caught me stealing candies. And guess what she did, Juanito? What? She said, parece que no te gusta la escuela. Looks like you don't like school. So from this day on, de ahora en adelante, no vas a ir a la escuela. Jamás. Te vas a quedar conmigo. Y hasta que yo muera, puedes hacer lo que tú quieres. So that's what happened. So, you know, our grandparents of those years, my grandmother was born in the 1800s. So she came up from that experience. You know, hard life, hard rules, you got to follow them. So my mother never went back to school. And she loved school. She loved school. So she learned from newspapers and clippings and showed me everything and told me everything. All stories, all words, and played. Fui al mercado, compré bellas, vine a la casa y lloré con ellas. Everybody say, fui al mercado, compré bellas, vine a la casa, lloré con ellas. I went to the marketplace, I bought beautifuls, I came home, and I cried with them. And what is the riddle? The answer to that riddle. What is that thing that you cry with when you come home from the marketplace, from Bonds or from Whole Foods, Free Whole Foods, cebollas, onions. So I grew up with a lot of dichos. So that's my mother's input from day one, forever. And my father's stories, day one, forever. No, Juanito, no, pues yo brinqué un tren a los 14 años cuando me vine del mulato donde vivíamos en Chihuahua y llegamos hasta Denver, Colorado. Y hacía tanto frío cuando brinqué el tren, escupí y se hizo hielito. When I jumped the train when I was 14 from El Mulato, Chihuahua, a little village, and I came up all the way on that train and landed in Denver, Colorado. It was so cold, Juanito. I was 14. It was so cold, Juanito. I was 14, and I jumped out of that train, and I spit because my lips were kind of dry. And guess what? The spit turned into little tiny ice cubes. So I learned those stories, and I use them in my books, in my children's books. I put them there because I want to talk about my family. I want to appreciate my family who never had a chance to be seen, never were known about, didn't have a place, always working in the fields, always at home, doing the best they could, living on welfare when they couldn't work anymore. So that was the fuel, part of the fuel. So when I finally went to UCLA on affirmative action, EOP scholarship, well, you won, what? I'm your counselor, yeah? What are you doing? I'm hanging out with Oscar. Oh, come over here. Don't you know that there's an EOP scholarship right now? Okay, yes, Mr. Weiss. And you better apply. Have you applied? No, Mr. Weiss, no, I haven't applied. Well, get to Mrs. Cunningham's office and apply. Okay, Mr. Weiss. So then I filled out the application for EOP, affirmative action, UCLA. So I got in. And when I got there, everything was exploding. Vietnam, La Causa Campesina, the women's movement, the gay movement, and the whole city was on fire. LA. The moratorium, everything was on fire. And people were standing up and speaking. And I had been admiring speakers because I didn't know how to speak. I put myself in choir for 5 years to a lo menos stand up and look like I'm saying something. So all that put together, más que nada the civil rights movement and my family. And then I could try to stand up and get in front of a group and write a poem and read the poem about our peoples, about our communities, about change, about justice, about no more wars, about peace, about no more incredible, painful, suffering labor in the fields like I knew that my parents went through. And no more harsh women's stories anymore. Let us have resources for women, not like my mom who went to school, went to orphanages, and even was not allowed after she stole that candy. Well, those were harsh rules. Grandmother was traditional. So I wanted all that to change. That's what got me going. That provided the fuel. Because the real me is kind of a kickback me. The real me, no, you know, pues aquí me quedo, voy a ver la televisión. Que quiero ver, you know, Dynasty, y, Grey's Anatomía. But that real me wasn't going to bring about all this beauty and be part of the beauty that you have here in Santa Maria. See? I wouldn't be here without my mom's stories and without all the hard work the campesinos made in those late 60s and the estudiantes. It's a long answer, but that's how it is.
Thank you, sir.
Lana sube, lana baja. What's the riddle? Okay, one. Lana sube, lana baja. And what's the answer to the riddle? Lana sube, lana baja. Wool goes up, lana sube, lana baja. And there's something inside of there. What could it be? La navaja. The knife. It's hiding in there. And that's so cool, isn't it? Que iba el español, el idioma y cultura nuestra, and the cultures of Santa Maria all together. Muchas gracias. No, I retired from UC Riverside in 2015. I was teaching poetry there. It was really different for me because we kind of did poetry like we're doing it here. I grew up with you, and we didn't study poetry. We just did it, and maybe you heard other poets reading, and I would say, oh, I like that word. Los pirámides. My cheekbones, the pyramids Aztecas. I said, oh, I like that. Pyramids Aztecas, cheekbones. I never would have imagined that. So I was inspired by other people standing up. And my mother's songs, my father's stories. I never thought of being a poet. I just walked into it because I felt that was the place I wanted to be. But I didn't study. That's how it was. Yeah.
My daughter had a class, we had a class when she was in Riverside.
Oh yeah? In poetry?
Yeah.
Oh, how's she doing now?
Great.
Okay, say hi to her for me. We had a great time at UC Riverside. And at Fresno State, I taught Chicano and Latin American Studies. That was also very nice. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. You've been very patient. I wish you the best aquí en Santa Maria. Beautiful community, beautiful students, beautiful teachers, and president and everybody else that has helped me come to Santa Maria, the Segura family, all the teachers, and Kate and everyone. Marlene, muchas gracias. And everybody, don't forget to make the World Unity Salsa, okay? World Unity Salsa. Muchas gracias.
I want you to answer just before you get too carried away. I want him to answer one more. Explain to us. So you become the poet laureate of the United States. Tell us what that's like. You have to go to the office every day?
I used to go. I had an office in the Library of Congress, and there's an office. We had muy chido. There's a really chido office at the Library of Congress, and it's reserved for the poet laureate of the United States. So I met people there, and they would come and see me and say hello, and groups of students. So that was very interesting. I also had free run of the whole Library of Congress. I go, órale, it's my turn. So then I went to the different departments. It has a lot of divisions. I went to the Hispanic division. It was a very interesting division. And they put a lot of things they thought I'd be interested in at the Hispanic division at the Library of Congress. And they brought out Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote, the big old novel, the great novel. And you know what? It's like a big giant bar of soap. It's the size of a bar of soap, and it's thicker than this, but small like a bar of soap. And if you had money in those days, you'd have to pay for the cover. Really nice color, full color, beautiful, smells like strawberry and mangoes. But if you didn't have the money to pay for the cover for that paperback, which everybody was reading, then you just get a blank cover, a wax cover. And of course, I saw the works of Jorge Luis Borges and also Pablo Neruda's glasses. He forgot his glasses at the Library of Congress. Pablo Neruda forgot his pinche glasses at the Library of Congress. ¿Qué pasó? Because he didn't want to go to the inaugural that was going on, so he stayed at the library at the Hispanic division. So I saw a lot of materials. I saw materials Cantares Gallegos, one of the early hybrid people's style of writing from Galicia, España. I was very happy to see that. I saw magazines de Cuba hechos a mano, something we would really enjoy, with different fabric. We had todo that with García Lorca. I saw García Lorca's chapbooks, libritos chiquitos. We'll say, ay, Federico García Lorca, ay, un gigante mundial, wow. He was a giant, he still is, but his libros were small. Little tiny, maybe 6-page, 8-page libro, like this. So sometimes it's good to know the original writing. So I got to see a lot of original writing. I went to the Rare Books Division, the first dictionaries in Spanish, the first drawn up and stated seven laws that came down from the Visigoths, laws that are used to run a nation, to govern a nation, that are they're still used, still used in Louisiana, actually, here. So I got to see a lot of good things, and materials and books. I went to the Prints and Photographs Division. Prints and Photographs Division. They have all the prints and the photographs given to them since the beginning of the Library of Congress. And guess what they had? Everybody said, guess what did they have, Juan? They had the prints, the silkscreen prints of Jose Montoya. And they had the silkscreen prints of Yolanda Lopez. And they had the prints of the inmates of, I think, San Quintin, San Quentin prison who were doing Frida Kahlo lithographs. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And they had prints from other artists throughout the world, in Spain and the United States. I said, wait a minute. Where's the work from Santa Maria here? Where's the work from San Diego? In San Diego we have a lot of artists, muralistas. I said, you got to call them up. And so they called them up. And they brought their work in. And guess what, by the way? Guess what? On the road, en el camino migrante de poeta across the United States, representing you, I met two young 10-year-old girl and an 11-year-old girl with their parents and grandparents who were reading poetry or talking about poetry. And I said, what's your name? Oh, me llamo Soli González. Ah, muy bien, I love your poetry, I told her. And what was your name? Oh, yo me llamo Elenita Medina. Oh, excellent, good to meet you. I said, you know what? I'm going to invite you two, with the permission of your parents, and they can come to be the youth laureates, the laureate chicas, to be reading their work original at the Library of Congress. And so they came over to the Library of Congress who were the laureate chicas, 11-year-old, 10-year-old.
So, thank you all for coming. Thank you particularly to our faculty and the people who are out here. We have an opportunity as well. Juan Felipe has agreed to sit and sign books. And our friends from the Bookworm, did you guys know we had a bookstore in town still? All right, so we've got a bookstore down by Pier 1. And they're here, and they have some of Juan Felipe's books here. And you can purchase a book, and Juan Felipe will spend a little time with us signing those books. And you can shake his hand and thank him for the work. But in the meantime, let's give him a big bulldog and stand him with him.